Good evening, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine that every day is like a blank canvas and you hold the brush in your hands. This brush is made up of the choices you make. The big question is, what will you paint today? For me, life has always been about getting a little better each day. It's about finding small adjustments that, when compounded over time, create something extraordinary. One of the greatest lessons I've learned on my journey is that success isn't the result of something grand we do occasionally, but rather the outcome of simple, consistent disciplines practiced daily. Similarly, failure doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of small errors in judgment repeated every day. This means that what separates success from failure lies in the small details of our daily lives. Do you know what's most powerful about all of this? Small daily changes lead to massive differences over time. Think about it. By improving your attitude, your communication, your self-discipline, or even your time management, you're laying a brick on a foundation that will support something big. But the secret is to start small. For instance, start by improving your attitude today. I remember that early in my career, my attitude was the thing that needed the most work. The way you view problems, how you approach challenges, and how you interact with others are all shaped by your attitude. You can either be a magnet for opportunities or a block against them. It all depends on how you choose to see the world. Someone who is constantly negative repels opportunities, while an optimistic person attracts collaboration and support. I learned early on that every decision, no matter how small, shapes the future. At the beginning of my journey, when no one believed in me, including the universities and companies that rejected me, the only thing I had was the conviction that every day was a new chance to try. And that's what kept me going. The magic lies in small steps. It's not about doing something grand all at once, but about starting with something small and turning it into a habit. When people ask me, Jack, what's the secret to your success? I always reply, simple disciplines, repeated every day. Think about it. What are you doing today that could create a transformation a year from now? It's like planting a seed. At first, it seems insignificant, but over time, it becomes a great tree. To achieve this, you must act with intention. Most people wake up and let the day happen. Don't be like most people. Start your day by asking yourself, what can I do today that brings me closer to my dream? For me, it was something as simple as studying English on my own, or imagining how I could transform small shops in China into something big. It might seem like a distant dream, but dreams are like stars. They guide the way. I like to say, if not now, when? If not me, who? Many of us wait for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment doesn't exist. The only moment you have is now. During the building of Alibaba, there were countless days when I didn't know what would happen tomorrow, but I knew that doing something, even something small, at that moment was the most important thing. No matter how complicated the painting may seem, we can always add a new brush stroke. Now, ask yourself, what will your painting look like today? Small steps, small actions. That's how you begin to create a masterpiece. The question that remains is, how will you use your brush tomorrow? Because tomorrow's canvas is already waiting, and you have everything you need to paint something incredible. I always say, your attitude is the compass that guides your life. You may be surrounded by difficulties, but a positive attitude is like a lighthouse, keeping you focused in the right direction. When I started, I had no money, no connections, and no technical knowledge. Still, what set me apart was my belief that with optimism and persistence, opportunities would appear. Think about it. Who do you attract into your life when you smile in the face of challenges? Attitude isn't something that just happens. It's a daily choice. I remember being rejected by over 30 companies, including KFC. Many would have given up, but I chose to see each rejection as a lesson. I turned those no's into fuel to keep trying. One of the biggest lessons I learned was that how you face challenges determines whether they become barriers or bridges. Small changes in how you approach life can completely transform your opportunities. Believe me, the world doesn't fall in love with the smartest or the most qualified person, but with the most resilient one. Imagine yourself as a magnet. Your energy attracts what you emit. If you're confident, grateful, and proactive, the world will respond in kind. So today, ask yourself, what kind of energy are you putting out there? I like to use a simple metaphor. Attitude is like a seed you plant every day. If you cultivate optimism, you'll see positive results. If you feed pessimism, things will only seem to get worse. I used to wake up every day and tell myself, today I'm grateful for what I have, even if it's not much. This practice gave me the strength to keep going, even when it felt impossible. Remember, if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit. Change yourself. Too often we waste energy trying to change others or the circumstances around us, but true transformation begins within. So, how can you adjust your attitude tomorrow to turn challenges into opportunities? That's what I want you to think about. Communication is an art that goes beyond words. It's not just about speaking, but about connecting, about creating an impact that resonates. I, Jack Ma, learned this lesson early on. When I started my journey, my English was limited, but I realized that how I communicated could open doors. That's why I started practicing every day, watching movies, listening to music, and even working as a free tour guide. For me, it wasn't just about learning a language, it was about connecting different worlds. A great leader isn't the one who talks the most, but the one who listens best. This was something that surprised me over the years. At first, I thought leading a team was about giving orders. Then I realized it was about listening to their ideas, understanding their struggles, and inspiring them to believe in what was possible. The ability to listen transforms any conversation into an opportunity for learning. Have you ever tried listening to someone, not to reply, but to truly understand? When I think about communication, one crucial point comes to mind: clarity. We often complicate messages, and this distances us from others. Great communicators simplify. One of the most valuable lessons I learned while building Alibaba was how to convey big ideas in a way that everyone, from engineers to delivery workers, could understand. Clarity inspires confidence, and confidence builds powerful connections. Communicating well is like building a bridge. Every word you use is a brick, and every gesture reinforces the structure. Once, during an event, I realized that young people fear public speaking because they fear judgment. My advice has always been, practice, practice, and practice some more. No one is born excellent at this skill, but everyone can improve with effort. Have you ever tried rehearsing a presentation in front of a mirror? It sounds simple, but it's transformative. Effective communication is your secret weapon. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, the ability to listen and convey ideas with impact is rare and therefore valuable. How can you take the first step today to improve this? Perhaps it's writing a clearer message or having a more empathetic conversation. Each small improvement creates a ripple effect. And now, what will your next message to the world be? Self-discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. It's built through small, consistent actions: waking up early, completing tasks, staying focused. Early in my career, I realized that talent is useless without discipline. There were days when I didn't feel motivated, but I knew that discipline could carry me further than my feelings. It's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Discipline doesn't mean making massive sacrifices every day. It's about building habits that make decisions easier over time. For example, I developed the habit of reading daily to broaden my perspective. It wasn't about reading for hours, but making it a consistent part of my routine. These small habits compound over time, creating extraordinary results. Think of it like saving money. Each small deposit grows into something significant. One of my favorite principles is this: habits reduce the need for willpower. When something becomes a habit, you don't have to waste energy deciding whether or not to do it. It becomes automatic. Early in Alibaba's journey, I made a commitment to show up every single day with focus and intention, no matter how uncertain the future seemed. Showing up consistently is half the battle won. Discipline is also about saying no. In a world full of distractions, knowing what to ignore is just as important as knowing what to focus on. During the early days of Alibaba, we faced countless tempting opportunities that weren't aligned with our mission. It was discipline that kept us on the path we believed in, even when others doubted us. Every time you say no to distractions, you're saying yes to your future. If you want to achieve your goals, build discipline into your life. Start with one small habit today. Perhaps it's as simple as setting aside 10 minutes to plan your day. Tomorrow, take another step. Over time, these small acts of discipline will transform your life in ways you can't yet imagine. Often what holds us back isn't the world around us, but the beliefs we carry within. Limiting beliefs are like invisible walls. They don't exist, but we act as if they do. When I was younger, I was told repeatedly that I wasn't smart enough or qualified enough to succeed. At first, I believed it, but then I asked myself, who gets to decide what I'm capable of? Beliefs are just thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. I like to say that every day is a new chance to replace "I can't" with "I'm learning." It's a subtle shift, but it creates a world of difference. When we started Alibaba, people laughed at the idea that a group of young people with no resources could build a global company. But we believed that every challenge was an opportunity to grow. That belief became the foundation of our success. Start small. Challenge just one belief that's holding you back. Maybe it's the idea that you're not good at something. Instead of avoiding it, try to learn it step by step. Early in my journey, I struggled with public speaking. I thought, I'm just not good at this. But I started practicing one small speech at a time until it became a strength. Limiting beliefs often come from comparing ourselves to others. But here's the truth. Everyone's journey is unique. I remember a time when I compared Alibaba to big companies like Amazon or eBay and felt overwhelmed. But then I realized that trying to imitate someone else's path would only limit us. Instead, we focused on building something original, tailored to the needs of Chinese businesses. Changing your beliefs is like rewiring your brain. It takes time and effort, but the results are worth it. What belief will you challenge today? Remember, every step you take to challenge those invisible walls brings you closer to the life you want. We all have 24 hours in a day, but how we use that time makes all the difference. Early in my career, I often felt overwhelmed, like there wasn't enough time to do everything. Then I realized it's not about having more time, it's about using it wisely. Time is your most precious resource, and how you spend it defines your success. The key to effective time management is prioritization. When building Alibaba, we had to decide what mattered most each day, because trying to do everything at once would lead to failure. I developed the habit of creating a simple list of priorities each morning. This one habit transformed my productivity because it gave me clarity and focus. One thing I've learned is the power of saying no. There are countless distractions competing for your attention every day. Social media, unnecessary meetings, trivial tasks. These are like weeds that choke the garden of your time. By saying no to what doesn't add value, you make room for what truly matters. I like to think of time as an investment. Every minute you spend is a choice. Are you spending it on something that grows your future or something that holds you back? I once told a group of young entrepreneurs, your biggest competitor is not others, it's your time. If you want to succeed, treat your time like gold. Time management isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Start today by identifying just one thing that wastes your time and replace it with something meaningful. Maybe it's spending 30 minutes reading instead of scrolling through your phone. Over time, these small changes add up to a life that's more productive, focused, and fulfilling. The world is changing rapidly, and learning every day is essential. Formal education may help you survive, but self-education helps you thrive. When I was younger, I didn't have access to the best schools or resources, but I had a hunger for knowledge. I read books, listened to tapes, and learned from anyone willing to teach me. That curiosity became my greatest asset. Knowledge is the one investment that never loses value. When I built Alibaba, I wasn't the smartest person in the room. In fact, I often hired people smarter than me. But I was always learning from my team, from my competitors, and even from our failures. The more you know, the more you grow. Learning doesn't have to be complicated. Start small. Read an article, watch a lecture, or listen to a podcast. One of my favorite practices was reading biographies of great leaders. It was like having a conversation with them, learning from their successes and mistakes. Have you ever read Steve Jobs' biography? It's filled with lessons about innovation and resilience. The key is consistency. You don't have to spend hours every day, but you do need to make learning a habit. Even 15 minutes a day can make a difference over time. I once told a group of students, if you stop learning, the world will leave you behind. Knowledge is your competitive edge in a fast-paced world. The most successful people I know have one thing in common. They're always learning. So, what will you learn today? Remember, every new piece of knowledge you acquire is like a tool you can use to build your future. Improving your financial life starts with small, consistent actions. When I was younger, I didn't have much money, but I learned early that managing what little I had was more important than earning more. People often think wealth comes from earning large sums, but the truth is, it comes from how you manage what you already have. It's not about how much you make, but how much you keep and how wisely you use it. The secret lies in building healthy financial habits. Start by tracking your expenses, no matter how small. I remember teaching myself to create simple budgets, dividing my income into essentials, savings, and a small portion for opportunities. This practice made me more disciplined and allowed me to take small financial risks that eventually paid off. You don't need a fortune to start, you just need a system. One principle I live by is, when you're poor, if you have a dream, you never feel poor. Even when my bank account was empty, I held on to the dream of building something big. That dream fueled my energy and creativity, helping me find ways to save and invest, no matter how limited my resources were. Remember, dreaming isn't just free, it's priceless. Financial discipline isn't just about saving, it's also about investing in the future. When we started Alibaba, we didn't have much capital, but we prioritized investments that would drive growth, like technology and people. It's the same with personal finances. Focus on areas that will bring long-term benefits, whether it's education, a business, or building a safety net. The journey to financial security is a marathon, not a sprint. Start today by taking one small step, whether it's cutting an unnecessary expense or setting aside a little money each week. Over time, these small habits will create a financial foundation that supports your dreams. Growth is a journey without a finish line. Every day offers a chance to improve, emotionally, intellectually, or professionally. I've always believed that progress matters more than perfection. When I started Alibaba, I had no idea how to run a tech company. But instead of waiting to become an expert, I focused on learning as I went. Each step forward, no matter how small, was a step closer to success. Self-awareness is the key to personal growth. Take the time to reflect on your strengths and weaknesses. I often ask myself, what can I do better today than I did yesterday? It's a simple question, but it leads to powerful insights. Whether it's communication, decision-making, or even patience, there's always room to grow. Have you ever paused to evaluate where you stand and where you want to go? Personal development is not just about knowledge, it's also about resilience. Life will challenge you, and those challenges are your greatest teachers. I remember facing countless obstacles while building Alibaba, from funding issues to fierce competition. But each obstacle taught me something new, and each lesson made me stronger. Challenges are not setbacks, they're opportunities to become better. The best way to grow is to set goals that align with your values. Define what success looks like for you, not based on others' expectations, but on what truly matters to you. Start small and take consistent steps. I've often told people, small steps taken every day lead to big transformations over time. It's a principle that works for both businesses and personal lives. Growth isn't just about achieving, it's about becoming. Every day is an opportunity to evolve into the best version of yourself. The question is, what will you do today to move closer to the person you want to become? Purpose is what gives life meaning. It's the why behind everything you do. When I started Alibaba, it wasn't just about making money. It was about creating value for millions of small businesses in China. That purpose kept me motivated, even during the most challenging times. Without purpose, success feels empty. But with it, even failure feels worthwhile. Purpose isn't something you find overnight. It's something you build over time. It starts with understanding what truly matters to you. For me, it was the desire to help others, to solve problems that seemed impossible. What drives you? What legacy do you want to leave behind? These questions are the foundation of a meaningful life. When you live with purpose, challenges become lighter and victories become sweeter. I remember the countless nights my team and I worked tirelessly, fueled not by money, but by the belief that we were making a difference. Purpose turns hard work into passion and setbacks into stepping stones. It's what gives you the strength to keep going when others quit. Living with purpose also means aligning your actions with your values. If your dreams and values are in conflict, you'll feel stuck. But when they align, you gain clarity and momentum. It's like having a compass that always points you in the right direction. Purpose is not just about achieving goals, it's about the journey you take to get there. Today, take a moment to reflect on what truly matters to you. Tomorrow, take a small step toward living that purpose. When you live a purpose-driven life, everything becomes more meaningful, and every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow. The question is, what will you choose to pursue with purpose? Gratitude changes how you see the world. It's not just about saying thank you. It's about creating a mindset that transforms challenges into opportunities. I remember early in my journey when I had very little, no money, no resources, no support. But I was grateful for every opportunity to learn. Gratitude gave me the strength to keep going, even when the odds were against me. Being grateful is like planting seeds of abundance. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your perspective shifts. I once told a group of students, if you can appreciate the little things today, you'll create space for bigger things tomorrow. It's a practice that builds resilience and optimism, even in the face of failure. Gratitude also improves relationships. At Alibaba, I've always made it a priority to thank my team, my partners, and even my competitors. When you show appreciation, people feel valued and inspired to give their best. Have you ever noticed how a simple thank you can change someone's day? Small gestures of gratitude often lead to great results. The best part about gratitude is that it's contagious. When you express it, others start to see the good in their own lives as well. I've seen this ripple effect countless times in my personal and professional life. Gratitude creates a positive energy that spreads far and wide, turning ordinary interactions into meaningful connections. Start small. Today, take a moment to appreciate something simple: the sun shining, a kind word from a friend, or even the lessons you've learned from a difficult experience. Gratitude is a habit, and like all habits, it grows stronger with practice. So, what will you be grateful for today? Your environment shapes who you are. Surround yourself with the right people and influences, and you'll grow in ways you never imagined. When I started Alibaba, I knew I had to build a team of passionate, positive people who believed in the mission. That environment of optimism and collaboration became the foundation of our success. The people around you are like mirrors. They reflect your thoughts, energy, and ambitions. I like to say, show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. If you're surrounded by negativity, it's easy to lose focus and confidence. But when you're with people who challenge and inspire you, they push you to become your best self. It's not just about people, it's also about what you consume. The books you read, the media you watch, and the conversations you have all shape your mindset. During the early days of Alibaba, I immersed myself in stories of entrepreneurs and innovators. Those stories fueled my belief that anything was possible. What are you feeding your mind with today? Sometimes changing your environment means making tough choices. There were times when I had to distance myself from those who doubted me. It wasn't easy, but I knew that protecting my energy and focus was essential to achieving my goals. If something or someone is holding you back, are you willing to let it go for the sake of your future? Creating a supportive environment takes effort, but it's worth it. Start by identifying one area of your life that could use an upgrade. Maybe it's spending more time with uplifting people or decluttering your workspace. Each small change creates a ripple effect, helping you grow into the person you want to be. Life is full of ups and downs, but the ability to bounce back from setbacks is what defines your success. I often tell people, your greatest lessons come from your toughest moments. When I failed university entrance exams multiple times or was rejected by dozens of companies, I could have given up, but I didn't. Those failures became stepping stones for something bigger. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it. Each time you fall, you gain the strength to rise higher. At Alibaba, there were countless moments when things didn't go as planned, from funding crises to competitive threats. But every challenge was a chance to learn, adapt, and come back stronger. What challenges have you faced recently, and how have they shaped you? Building resilience starts with mindset. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? This simple shift turns obstacles into opportunities. For example, when our early e-commerce ideas faced skepticism, we used that criticism to refine and improve. Resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about growing. Another key to resilience is having a support system. During tough times, I relied on my team, my family, and even my own belief in our mission to keep moving forward. Who do you turn to when the going gets tough? Surrounding yourself with people who uplift you makes a huge difference. Resilience is a skill you build over time, one setback at a time. Start today by reframing a challenge as an opportunity. The question isn't whether you'll face adversity, you will. The real question is, how will you respond? Sharing knowledge multiplies its value. When I started teaching English as a young man, I discovered that explaining concepts to others helped me understand them better. This principle has stayed with me throughout my life. When you teach, you don't just help others, you reinforce your own learning. At Alibaba, we believe in sharing what we know, not just within the company, but with the world. I've always encouraged my team to mentor others, speak at conferences, and share their expertise. Why? Because the more you give, the more you receive. Knowledge isn't a limited resource. It grows when shared. Sharing knowledge also builds trust and connections. When you openly share your insights, people see you as authentic and generous. During the early days of Alibaba, we shared our vision openly with partners and customers. This transparency helped us gain their trust and support. Have you ever shared an idea and seen how it inspired someone else? It doesn't have to be complicated. Sharing can be as simple as recommending a book, offering advice, or helping a colleague solve a problem. I remember once sharing a small piece of advice with a young entrepreneur. Years later, he told me that it changed his life. Never underestimate the power of even the smallest act of teaching. Today, think about one piece of knowledge or insight you can share. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It just has to be helpful. When you share what you know, you create a ripple effect that can reach far beyond what you imagine. Saad? Creativity isn't just for artists or inventors. It's for anyone who wants to improve their life. I've always believed that creativity starts with asking one question. What if? When I looked at China's small businesses struggling to reach a larger market, I asked, what if we could connect them to the world through the internet? That question became the seed for Alibaba. Being creative means solving problems in new ways. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being curious enough to explore possibilities. Some of the best ideas I've ever had came from simply observing everyday problems and thinking, how can this be done differently? Creativity doesn't require genius, just curiosity. One way to boost creativity is to seek inspiration from unexpected places. I've learned a lot about innovation, not just from business books, but from movies, music, and even nature. Have you ever watched a bird build a nest? It's a masterclass in resourcefulness and perseverance. Inspiration is everywhere if you're willing to look. Creativity also thrives in collaboration. Some of Alibaba's most innovative solutions came from brainstorming sessions where everyone, regardless of rank, could share ideas. Diversity of thought leads to breakthroughs. Are you creating space for collaboration in your own life? The key to creativity is taking action. It's not enough to have ideas. You need to test them, fail, and refine. So, what problem will you approach differently today? Remember, every great innovation started as a simple what if. Authenticity is the foundation of any strong relationship. People don't just follow you because of your title or accomplishments. They follow you because they trust and believe in you. Early in my career, I learned that relationships built on pretense don't last. To create genuine connections, you must show who you really are, flaws and all. At Alibaba, I made it a point to treat everyone with respect, from my team to our customers. I often told my employees, if we want others to trust us, we must first trust them. Trust is a two-way street, and it starts with honesty and empathy. Are you showing the people around you that you value and respect them? Building authentic relationships also means listening deeply. It's not about waiting for your turn to speak, but about truly hearing what the other person is saying. During difficult times at Alibaba, my team's feedback often gave me the clarity I needed to make better decisions. Listening is one of the most powerful tools for strengthening relationships. Small gestures of kindness and gratitude can make a big difference. I always made time to thank my team, even for the little things. A simple thank you or I appreciate your effort can inspire loyalty and dedication. Have you expressed gratitude to someone recently? Authentic relationships aren't built overnight, but they are worth the effort. Today, take a moment to connect with someone in a meaningful way. Ask a genuine question, offer help, or simply listen. These small acts create bonds that stand the test of time. Leadership isn't about authority, it's about responsibility. True leaders inspire others by their actions, not just their words. I often tell people, a good leader doesn't climb the mountain for themselves. They climb it to show others the way. Leadership is about creating a vision and empowering others to achieve it. One of the biggest lessons I've learned about leadership is that it starts with humility. Early in my journey, I didn't know everything, but I was willing to learn from those around me. I hired people smarter than me and gave them the freedom to innovate. Great leaders don't need to have all the answers. They just need to ask the right questions. Inspiring others means showing courage, especially in tough times. During the early days of Alibaba, there were moments when everything seemed uncertain. But I knew that if I showed fear, my team would lose confidence. Leadership means standing strong and showing others that challenges are opportunities in disguise. Leaders also need to have a clear vision. When we built Alibaba, our goal wasn't just to create an e-commerce company. It was to empower small businesses around the world. A clear vision inspires others to believe and work towards something greater than themselves. What's your vision, and how are you sharing it with others? The most powerful form of leadership is leading by example. If you want your team to work hard, you must work harder. If you want them to stay optimistic, you must show optimism. Leadership isn't about telling people what to do. It's about showing them what's possible. Sometimes less really is more. Complexity often leads to confusion, while simplicity creates clarity and focus. When we were building Alibaba, one of the most valuable lessons I learned was the power of simplifying processes, goals, and communication. Simplification doesn't just save time, it amplifies results. Start by identifying what truly matters. Many people waste time on unnecessary tasks or overthink decisions. I like to ask myself, what's the one thing I can do today that will have the greatest impact? Focusing on that one thing creates momentum and eliminates distractions. Are you spending your time on what really matters? Simplification also applies to decision-making. Early in my career, I realized that trying to do everything at once led to burnout and poor results. Instead, I began prioritizing tasks and delegating what others could handle better. By narrowing your focus, you can put your energy into what you do best. Another area where simplicity shines is communication. Whether it's a business pitch or a team meeting, clear and straightforward communication gets better results. When explaining Alibaba's vision, I made sure it was simple enough for anyone to understand. The simpler your message, the stronger its impact. Simplifying your life doesn't mean doing less. It means doing what matters most. Today, identify one thing you can simplify. A task, a routine, or even a mindset. By reducing the unnecessary, you create space for growth, clarity, and success.
Jack Ma captivated the audience with stories of rejection, resilience, and relentless self-improvement, offering timeless lessons for anyone striving to mold their future. His words resonated deeply because they were drawn from a life of overcoming adversity, a life that inspires millions around the globe. Jack Ma reminded everyone that each day begins as a blank canvas, waiting for us to paint it with intention. He shared how small, disciplined actions repeated daily became the foundation for his success. Through vivid anecdotes, he emphasized the transformative power of attitude, explaining how optimism and gratitude can open doors we didn't even know existed. When you change your perspective, the world around you changes too, he said, igniting a spark of hope in every listener. One of the standout moments was when Jack Ma discussed the importance of communication, not just as a tool for speaking but as a bridge for understanding and connection. His journey of teaching himself English, working as a free tour guide, and eventually leading a global company demonstrated how the right words can inspire action and build trust. He explained that true leaders communicate with clarity and empathy, ensuring their vision aligns with their team's efforts. Jack Ma also delved into self-discipline, likening it to a bridge between dreams and reality. He revealed how even the smallest habits, like waking up early or focusing on priorities, can compound into extraordinary results. Discipline isn't about sacrifice, he explained. It's about creating routines that make success inevitable. This resonated with everyone striving to turn their ambitions into achievements. The crowd was moved when Jack Ma spoke about challenging limiting beliefs. He shared his personal experiences of rejection, failing university entrance exams multiple times and being turned away by companies like KFC. "If you think you can't, you're already defeated," he said. His journey proved that beliefs are just thoughts, and thoughts can be changed to unlock untapped potential. Jack Ma's insights into time management struck a chord as well. He highlighted that while we all have the same 24 hours, how we use them determines the life we create. His advice to prioritize, eliminate distractions, and focus on high-impact tasks provided actionable takeaways that anyone could start implementing immediately. The speech reached its peak when Jack Ma touched on purpose, the driving force behind a meaningful life. He shared how Alibaba wasn't just a business for him, it was a mission to empower small businesses worldwide. "Purpose makes challenges lighter and victories sweeter," he said, urging the audience to reflect on what truly matters to them. From practical advice on personal development and financial discipline to profound reflections on gratitude and leadership, Jack Ma's presentation was a treasure trove of wisdom. It wasn't just about learning new strategies, it was about awakening a sense of possibility and inspiring action. As the session ended, one thing was clear: this wasn't just a talk, it was a call to action. The only question left was, which of these lessons will you start applying today? As we wrap up this incredible journey through Jack Ma's transformative insights, the real challenge begins. How will you put these lessons into action? Think about the blank canvas of your day. What brushstrokes will you add tomorrow to shape your future? Will you adopt self-discipline, reframe your limiting beliefs, or commit to a daily habit of gratitude? The tools are here, now it's your turn to use them. What stood out to you the most? Was it the idea of simplifying your life to multiply your results? Or perhaps the reminder that resilience comes from facing challenges head-on? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective might inspire someone else. If you ever feel stuck or need motivation, come back to this video and revisit Jack Ma's timeless advice. It's a resource you can rely on whenever you need a boost. And before you go, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Let's face it, you're unlikely to find this channel again if you don't, and you'll be missing out on even more strategies to transform your life. Hit the notification bell to stay connected and keep growing. Finally, don't stop here. Dive into the next video to uncover even more powerful insights to help you achieve your goals. Remember, success isn't about waiting for the perfect moment, it's about acting now. So, what step will you take today to mold your future?